What if I told you that the average person's bank account holds less money than what most people spend on coffee and subscriptions every month? Yes, seriously. Imagine checking your account after decades of work, promotions, overtime, pay raises, only to find that your savings wouldn't even cover a single month of bills. Hard to believe? It gets worse. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people have no idea what their real financial picture looks like. They see a paycheck hit their account. They pay a few bills, maybe buy something nice to reward themselves. And before they know it, the balance is back to double digits. It's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. No matter how much you earn, it just keeps leaking out. But how is it possible that in the richest era of human history, millions of hardworking people are living one broken fridge or one hospital bill away from disaster? Today, we're going to open the vault and look inside the real financial lives of everyday people. And I promise you, what we'll find inside is not just shocking, it's a wake-up call that might change the way you look at your money forever. Before we go any further, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's not just a formality. It helps more people discover the truth about how money really works, and it keeps you ahead of the financial game instead of trapped inside it. Now let's lift the curtain. According to recent data, the median checking account balance for adults in the United States is just over $1,500. That's it. And nearly 1 in 5 Americans has less than $100 in their primary bank account at any given time. Let that sink in. A single flat tire, an unexpected copay, or even a weekend trip could wipe out everything they've saved. But that's only the surface. When you zoom out and look at all the accounts, checking, savings, emergency funds, the numbers barely improve. The average person's total liquid savings barely reaches $5,000. Yet most households spend nearly that much every single month. That means the average person has roughly 1 month's worth of survival money before hitting zero. Imagine living your entire adult life with a ticking clock above your head, a countdown that resets every payday. 2 weeks of breathing room, then the panic creeps back in. That's the reality for millions. They call it living paycheck to paycheck. But let's be honest, it's really surviving deposit to deposit. And here's where the paradox begins. Most people think the reason their balance is low is because they don't earn enough. But when we look closer, that's not entirely true. Plenty of middle-class earners bringing in $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 a year are still broke. So if it's not the income, what's eating the money? We'll get to that. But first, I want you to picture this. Imagine logging into your online banking app. The numbers are small, maybe $742 staring back at you. The debit card still works, but you know every swipe brings you closer to zero. The rent's due in 3 days, the utility bill hits next week, and somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this quiet, unsettling thought. Is this really what I worked all month for? That thought isn't just common, it's practically universal. Because the truth is, the system wasn't built to help you save. It was designed to make you comfortable enough to keep spending, but never secure enough to stop. And that's exactly what we'll expose next. Where the money really goes, how invisible spending habits drain your account faster than you realize, and why even the most disciplined people fall into the same trap. But before we dive into that rabbit hole, do one thing for yourself. Hit subscribe and like this video. Not because it's routine, but because you're about to learn how to stop playing defense with your money and finally start playing offense. So, where does all the money go? If the average person earns tens of thousands of dollars every year, why do their accounts look like ghost towns by the end of the month? The answer hides in plain sight, disguised as normal life. Let's start with the first silent killer. Fixed expenses. Rent or mortgage, car payments, insurance, utilities. On paper, they look manageable. Maybe $1,800 for housing, $600 for transportation, a few $100s for bills. But when you stack them together, it's a mountain that eats the paycheck before it even arrives. Most people are already 70% spent the moment their salary hits. Then come the small luxuries. The ones that feel harmless. A streaming service here, a takeout meal there, maybe that harmless subscription you forgot about 3 months ago. One study found that the average person pays for 7 monthly subscriptions without even realizing it. Add them up, and that's another $150 to $200 a month silently vanishing from your account like digital pickpockets. But the real danger doesn't come from bills. It comes from behavior. The modern economy is engineered to keep you emotionally broke. Every scroll through social media is a psychological trap designed to make you feel like you're falling behind. You see someone else's new car, vacation, kitchen remodel, and suddenly your perfectly fine life looks dull. So what do? You swipe, you click, you buy. It's not just a spending problem, it's a dopamine problem. Every purchase triggers the same part of your brain that lights up when you win at a slot machine. That rush is addictive. And just like any addiction, it demands repetition. The average person makes hundreds of small financial decisions a week, most of them unconscious. A latte here, a delivery order there, and suddenly half your disposable income is gone before you've even noticed it. And here's the twisted part. The system knows it. Corporations spend billions studying your habits. The color of the Buy Now button, the sound your phone makes when you get a discount notification, the timing of payday ads. You think you're choosing freely, you're not. You're being nudged, and every nudge moves your money somewhere else, usually into someone else's pocket. But that's not even the worst part. For millions, the bank account doesn't just drop to zero, it drops below. The average American now carries over $9,000 in credit card debt. And with interest rates climbing past 20%, that's not just borrowing, it's bleeding. You buy a $40 dinner, but by the time you've paid it off, it's cost you $60. You didn't eat a meal, you financed it. Debt for most people isn't a choice anymore. It's a lifestyle. It fills the gap between what you earn and what you wish you could afford. But every borrowed dollar chains you tighter to the cycle. Pay, spend, borrow, repeat. And when you step back and look at the full picture, it's terrifying. Because this isn't about bad decisions. It's about a culture built on financial sedation. A culture that tells you you deserve it, but never asks what it costs you later. Let's make it real for a second. Picture someone, maybe even yourself, waking up on a Friday morning, checking their balance before work. The paycheck hit overnight. Relief floods in. But within hours, the autopay kicks in. Rent, utilities, credit card payments, all slicing through that balance like blades. By Monday, what's left is a fraction of what felt like abundance just 2 days ago. It's not that people are irresponsible, it's that the system runs on, keeping them unaware. Because an informed consumer is dangerous. They ask questions, they save, they invest, they stop feeding the machine. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in the next part. Not just how to escape the trap, but why so few people ever do. Because there's one final piece of this puzzle most people never see until it's too late. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me this. What's the one expense that drains your bank account faster than anything else? Is it rent? Groceries? Impulse buys online? I'll be reading through the comments, and you might be surprised to see how many people are fighting the exact same battle. Here's the truth no one likes to admit. Most people aren't broke because they're bad with money. They're broke because the system is designed that way, deliberately. Every institution, from banks to credit card companies to retailers, profits when your account stays empty. The less you save, the more they make. Think about it. The moment your paycheck hits, it's already spoken for. Rent, taxes, debt, bills, they all take their cut before you even touch a cent. Whatever's left, advertisers fight for. Every scroll, every ad, every limited time offer is a hook designed to pull money out of your account and into theirs. And if you fall short, no problem. They'll help you with a loan, an installment plan, or a shiny new credit card. It's not help, it's bait. Here's a sobering number. The average person pays over $1,200 a year in bank fees, interest, and penalties alone. That's money for nothing. For overdrawing your own account, for carrying a balance, for being late on a payment. You're paying rent just to use your own money. And what's the result of all this? The illusion of control. You feel like you're managing things, but the truth is, you're being managed. Your salary might come from one place, but your spending decisions are guided by thousands of invisible hands. Algorithms, marketing campaigns, even the way your favorite apps are designed. It's not an accident, it's architecture. But here's the twist. Once you see the system, you can break it. The first step is realizing that your bank account isn't a reflection of your intelligence or worth. It's a mirror of your financial environment. Change the environment and everything changes. So how do you start? Not with some complicated investment scheme or get-rich-quick promise. It starts with awareness. Track every dollar for 30 days, every coffee, every subscription, every impulse buy. You'll be shocked at how fast the leaks appear once you actually look. Then start building small layers of protection, a separate savings account, an automatic transfer that happens the moment you get paid, a credit card that stays frozen unless there's a real emergency. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Because the truth is, the average person's financial situation isn't hopeless. It's just hidden behind layers of noise. Once you quiet the noise, you start to hear something else. Opportunity. Imagine this. A year from now, you log into your bank account, and instead of anxiety, you feel calm. There's money sitting there, not because you got a raise, but because you finally took control. You stopped being a passenger and started driving. That's not a fantasy, that's math. And math, unlike emotion, doesn't lie. And here's the secret the banks will never tell you. The moment you stop living from paycheck to paycheck, you become dangerous. Because you can finally say no. No to overpriced loans. No to unnecessary upgrades. No to the endless treadmill of consumption. That's when your money starts working for you. So if you've watched this far, you're already ahead of 99% of people. You've seen what most refuse to look at, the reality of the average person's bank account and the system designed to drain it. But you don't have to stay average. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one financial change you're making starting today? Are you canceling a subscription? Starting an emergency fund? Finally tracking your spending? Whatever it is, share it. Because your small step might be the motivation someone else needs to start theirs. And if this video opened your eyes, don't just click away. Subscribe, share it, and be part of this movement of people who are done living in the dark about their money. Together, we can rewrite the story, one account balance at a time. Because once you understand how the system works, you don't fear it anymore. You use it. And that's when the balance finally starts to grow.